It was my first semester in grad school. I wasn't quite sure if I actually made the right decision, right? And I wasn't quite sure that I fit into this whole psychology thing. In fact, I was pretty nervous about that. Like every challenging new graduate student, I was told, pick your thesis topic. I was drawn to this particular area, and it was relatively new at that time. White racial identity is basically a theoretical model that looks at how white individuals, right, come to be aware that racism exists and that they're a part of it and that they perpetrate it. It's really an awareness of one's own privilege and one's own hand in that, right? You know, I did my research and, couldn't find anything that anybody else had done on that particular topic. So I felt like, I was proud. I was like, yay, I have an idea. And I had my meeting with my advisor. And so I went there and, I pitched it. He was silent, and he kind of scrunched up his face and he did a lot of and ah. And you're sitting there, it's like, oh man, this guy's a big shot, somebody we all respected in the field, certainly somebody I respected and was really intimidated by, actually. But, one of those guys who literally, writes the books, writes the articles. And he said, wow, that's pulling the tiger's tail. And I said, what do you mean by that? I said, well, we're interested in doing something like around Asian Americans and stuff. I said, no, I wasn't. I didn't think that was where the problem was at. I wanted to see how white people thought about working with a person of color. I think there's a question there to be examined. I said, well, that's pulling the tiger's tail. And I said, you want to be careful with that. So early in your career, just the start of your career. You want to be careful with that, because sometimes when you pull the tiger's tail, they bite back. I felt threatened. I felt disrespected, but I felt threatened. I didn't know what else to do. My mentors back in college had told me, you ought to check out this woman who's at this department, African-American woman. My name is Janet Helms. I saw her going into her office. And I said, Dr. Helms, I said, you don't know me, but I was wondering if you might have time to talk to me a little bit. And she said, yeah, sure. And I said, I don't know that I can stay here. I don't know that this is the place for me. Maybe I should go back to California. Because clearly, I'm being told not only that something is not a good idea, I'm being told that it's violating something, that I've crossed a line. I can't pull the tiger's tail. And I will never, ever forget what Janet said. And she said to me, you can make a career out of pulling the tiger's tail. And and she gave me back my career. And she gave me back me. you know? Because fundamentally what this does is it takes it away from you. That's what racism does. It takes it away from you. It takes away your ability to choose. It robs you of choice. And other people take that away. And other people give it back and affirm your choices. And that's what she did.